I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.
Hello guys, here's Katiana, cat for short, and I'm allergic to, well, you guessed it, cats. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how not training changed my life for the better. And it sounds so odd because usually everyone tells us that more practice, more training is better for us. But in my personal case, it wasn't, or it wouldn't have been. So I want to talk about that. But yeah, let me first get into my relationship with training in general. I filmed this part like 10 times now. I'm just way too talkative. Anyway, I've always been a pretty active person. I've stuck to athletics ever since I was 14. I was pretty good at it. Trained 5 to 6 times every week, went to nationals, and so on and so forth. And in 2019, I got hurt for the first time. I didn't realize that I was really hurt because the orthopedic right then and there said I was fine, even though I wasn't. And for the next 2 years, I tried to get back to where I was, but I just couldn't. For one, because of the pandemic, and I just wasn't allowed to train much, and also because I just couldn't because my foot hurt so bad that I had to stop practices all the time, and I just couldn't go full out. And in late November 2021, I finally went to a new orthopedic, had a new MRI done, and was told that I definitely shouldn't be running. I shouldn't be sprinting, and over hurdles sounds like the worst thing like I could do for my foot at that very moment. So I had to quit all training that I at least could do. And this is where the meat and potatoes of this video starts. So I want to first start off with the negative sides that I felt, and then I want to go on to the positives that this training pause has brought me. So yeah, initial negatives, but we'll get to the positives soon enough. So as you can probably guess, the first thing was absolute loss of motivation. I felt no desire whatsoever to even stretch at home. The next thing was a crazy delusional fear of gaining lots and lots of weight, because I felt like if I would train even less, I would probably gain like 20 pounds in like, I don't know, in a couple weeks. I felt like an absolute failure for not reaching the goals that I had set for myself, even though some of them were definitely a little crazy. But yeah, I felt like I failed my sportive self. And then the next one was that I didn't fill my newfound time with productive things to do. So usually I train like 4 to 5 times a week. I'd have practice for 2 hours, and I'd need to get there and get home, which was another like 40 minutes each. So that was like going on 4 hours each and every like practice I had. So I would usually read a book going to and from practice, or listen to a podcast, and then in training I was productive as well. So I felt like just because I was home, I didn't do any of that. I didn't train, and I didn't read a book because I was like, I'm home. I only read books when I'm on the train, so I'm not going to do it at home. But now let's get to the positives. So connecting like the last dot, the last negative dot to the first positive one, I finally found time for new hobbies, and I realized that I don't have to read on the train. Like, you're at home, you can read a book at home. That's something I never did because I just never had the time. So I've definitely, for example, read more since not being able to practice. I've done more for my language skills and so on and so forth. There's so many things that I finally have the time for that I just never even considered taking even more time out of the little leisure time that I had to do like little productive things that I find enjoyment in as well. The next thing is that I finally had time for friends and family, because usually I'd have school, university, or work, and then go straight to practice and home. And until I was home, it was like 9:30 or 10 at night. I'd make something to eat, watch some Netflix, and just go to bed. So I didn't really have time for friends or family except for the weekends. And now I finally had that. So whenever someone said, hey, you know what, would you want to do something on Thursday? I would like automatically think, no, I don't. And then realize that I actually do. The third point is perspective. I wouldn't have been able to say, hey, some of my goals were a little outrageous a couple of months ago because I was just so fixated on specific fitness goals, and reaching them was like my ultimate. Like there was nothing else that would have fulfilled me as a person. And now I know that I'm more than just fitness. So if I'm not successful in that regard, it doesn't mean that I'm not successful in life, like at all. I think it also helps that I found a really good job in November, and I've loved my work so much that fulfills me as well. And the last part I kind of want to get to is having learned to relax. I think this is still something I kind of have to embrace, but nevertheless, I didn't ever realize that sometimes you just need a break, and you're allowed a break, and it's okay to have some off days, have some off time, get home from work and just be unproductive. Usually I would be productive in school, university, work, then be productive because of reading or listen to a good podcast on my way to practice, be productive at practice, do the same thing going to practice as going from practice, so reading another book or another podcast. And then when I was home, I felt like I still needed to finish off something because I wasn't really that productive that day. And now I realize that even though when I come home, I might just stretch a little bit, I am still good enough for taking some off time, just to watch Netflix, just to think about which video I could film and just enjoy other things that aren't really about sport, just because there's more to life than just that. So if you feel this way, I hope you've kind of taken something from this video, just to realize that overtraining is a thing and there's more to life than just fitness goals, and you can definitely achieve goals in other ways. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, you took something from it. If you did, please like and subscribe. It would really help me so much. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, bye.
A year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago.